Two guys from two worlds. This is the Flip Side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Flip Side with Jay and Noel. How's everybody doing today?
Everybody's happy.
Today, the 10th of September, 2023, 6:47 a.m. here in the Estados Unidos.
You know, one of my favorite DJ or radio personality sign-off taglines, one of my friends, he says, remember, you're never fully dressed without a smile. So
that's actually a good one. I like that.
If I'm not smiling, that means I'm not fully dressed.
Oh, how sappy.
You're never fully dressed without a smile. I don't know where he got that from. I don't know where he got that from, but it just stuck. And every time I joke about smiling.
In a way, it's kind of like cheesy, but at the same time, it's pretty decent. I like it.
It's true. Yeah. Go for it. While we are setting up TikTok here, and we're going to ask for permission to join your live.
Yes, I believe she's already accepted. I mean, I have already accepted it.
Oh,
so
awesome.
She should be getting. Yeah. So, what's up, man? To be quite honest with you, like I said earlier, I apologize. I haven't really done anything in regards to show work the past 3 days because I have been trying to spend my free time laying down for the most part, because I don't know, for you, most of you guys that just tuned in, I broke a fibula, so I have a fractured bone, so it's on my foot, so it's kind of like whatever.
So in plain English, you're nursing a foot.
I am I'm literally one of those guys that are like spread eagle on the couch with one leg hanging on the back.
Too much information, but okay.
Too much. It's an ugly sight by ugly sight.
Yeah. Speaking of plain English, why don't we jump into that? So I don't know how old this news is. The TikTok video that I shared with you a while ago said that they announced back in March that Harvard, and I don't know, I didn't check if this is fake news or not, but I'm assuming that it's not, that Harvard is offering Tagalog as an elective or as a language that you can learn from Harvard.
Is that like legit though? Did you check?
You know, my only comment, that's what I mean. I don't know if it's legit or not, but I just wanted to do a quick comment that's going to make me sound unpatriotic. I wanted to know what your opinion was about it. So it's the reason why they put it up there for students to learn Tagalog in Harvard, which is all great, you know, Filipino pride and all that. But it's the fourth language, according to the video, it's the fourth language that's spoken there in the States. English and then Spanish and Chinese right under.
First of all, there's no such thing as Chinese language. it's either Mandarin or Cantonese.
Mandarin or Cantonese. And then there's Tagalog right underneath because it's one of the minorities. But my question is Tagalog really used? Do you think it's going to be, and you know, both of us know how to speak Tagalog.
Right.
Is it? Well, no, I'm hesitating saying it already. And
that's the thing. Okay, I'll say it. I'm
gonna take it back when I say it. No. This is what my argument was before. I wanted to learn Chinese or Spanish or some other language because somebody sold me the idea, maybe Japanese, because somebody sold me the idea that it's something that you can use for business.
Right, which makes sense.
And that's what struck in my mind. Like, is Tagalog something that you can use for business?
Here, no, not yet, unless your business is opening up a carinderia or something.
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking like global market business-wise, and what do I know, right?
Right.
I mean,
I don't think they're equating it to the business aspect itself. It's more like, you know, because in hospitals around here, it's guaranteed you're going to run into a lot of nurses who are
True.
Filipinos.
True. Yeah. So you don't. So in other words, don't learn the language because you're going to use it for business. That's the bad motivation or reasoning behind it.
For now, I don't think it's going to work. To be honest with you, I mean, Filipino business people here. Well, here's the caveat to that though. Filipino language is up and rising, especially in California, okay? Or even in Florida for that matter. The problem there is most Filipinos speak English. All Filipinos speak English anyway, for the most part.
Yeah.
So if you're going to talk to them, oh, man, I don't know, man. That's kind of like, because, some Filipinos were like, you talk to them in like Tagalog, like, oh, kamusta? How are you? Anong balita? Well, nothing really, just hanging out, chilling, kicking it over here.
I have a foreigner friend that came over here, took Tagalog lessons, Rosetta Stone and that kind of thing, paying like 6,000 pesos per month or whatever for his lessons, right? He's learning Tagalog. And then I go diving with him in Cebu and he's like, dude, I'm learning the wrong language. They're speaking Cebuano in Cebu, right? And to make matters worse, which is what he was telling me, it's so frustrating. I'm trying to learn Tagalog. He's trying to learn Tagalog, but everybody's responding to him in English.
Learn. So somebody in TikTok actually just said, learn Chinese. Okay, I understand you guys are saying, but you're probably commenting on what I said. It's either Mandarin or Cantonese, as far as I know, in regards to the Chinese language. So is it one of the fastest growing language for business, you think? I don't think so. I think it's Japanese when it comes to that. I could be wrong. But I base it out of what I see in the news all the time, yada, yada, yada.
And but if you want to eat nuclear fish, yeah.
Jesus.
Which is another topic. Do you know that Japan, I heard somewhere that they started releasing like nuclear waste?
Yeah, that's in Japan. So now they're I think China and other places around there especially are like kind of banning any kind of shipments from seafood from Japan and whatnot.
So you think Cantonese or Mandarin versus Japanese? Does Japanese have other like different dialects, or is it just one though, right?
I think it's just one.
But they have like two different ways of writing. I know that there's...
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I'm not very...
Neither am I. I know that there's like hiragana and some other one.
Although it seems like it's a lot easier to learn Japanese than Mandarin or Cantonese. Like I've been watching Terrace House forever. I actually started watching it again last night, to be honest with you. And it just sounds easier,
What is it called?
What?
What are you watching?
Terrace House.
Terrace House.
On Netflix, yeah.
That's a Japanese series.
You've never heard of Terrace House?
I've heard about it. There's also
you gotta get into it, bro. It's like the Japanese version of The Real World. Where 6-7 strangers stuck in a house living their day-to-day lives and whatnot. And it's kind of amazing. I love it, to be honest with you.
I'm thinking if it was in the US, they would have all have been having sex with each other already. But since it's
That's
Japanese,
what they're trying to do to begin with. These guys and girls, but they're doing it in a more polite way since they're Japanese and whatnot,
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
There was a season that was based out of Hawaii.
How did that go?
So basically, there's a lot of Japanese people live in Hawaii, right? So one of the seasons that they had, the house was in Hawaii. So they were living in Hawaii.
So the Terrace House is specifically a Japanese show?
It's a Japanese show. It's literally the same concept as The Real World, but Japanese people.
I guess they are, encouraging the young to mingle with each other?
Yeah, in a way.
Sexual activities?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the whole point? Like their way of encouraging the country to make more babies?
Let me put it to you this way. It's like a dating show in the real world type of thing. Okay. So there's this one there's this one character, Taishi, in the second season of Terrace House that I watched, and this is the one that's based out of the house was in Hawaii. Okay, so this guy Taishi, I mean, if he emulates or if he represented the proper Japanese tradition when it comes to courting somebody or romance, holy crap, dude! This guy is the most romantic man in the world. Kid you not.
Textbook,
Okay.
like Japanese Casanova.
Yeah, good looking guy. All right, he's tall. He's into Japanese tradition with the samurai and all that stuff. And he actually, like for example, he's trying to court one of the roommates. Okay. Again, this guy's name is Taishi. I can't remember this other girl's name.
And take note, you're watching this because you have a broken foot.
I've actually seen this before. I'm rewatching it.
In your words, spread eagle in your sofa.
Yeah.
With what? With a foot up, watching.
With one leg up on the. Okay. That's a pretty picture, huh? Anyway, this is how romantic this idiot or this bastard. No, I'll take it back. This guy Taishi is, right? So he's about to go on the first date with this girl to begin with. A couple of days before he goes on the date with the girl, he actually plans the date. When I mean plans it, he'll actually go to the locations first and scout the location. If it's a nice location,
wow.
He went to the restaurant that he wants to take the girl. If the food's nice,
wow.
I mean, he took the time to
may ocular inspection. Wow.
Exactly.
That was my mom's job when she was in the airline.
Right.
She would go there. She would check if it's like a worthy place to promote.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
that's kind of a cool job.
That's how I got to tag along. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not for a date. It was for an airline. But for this guy, he was doing it for a date.
He was doing it for a date. So he literally did his due diligence, like the entire research, right? So he went to this beach that they'd never been to scout it out. You know, he waited there until the sunset to see if it looks good. He goes to a restaurant after to see if the restaurant and the food is good. And then he goes on different routes to and from to see what's the best route. So after doing all this homework, day of the date, right? He looks like a genius. He looks like the most romantic person in the world because he did the homework, you know? And I'm like, what the hell? Who does that? Nobody does that anymore. You know?
This is season what? Like, if I'm going to catch up with what you're talking about.
I think it's season 2.
The latest one?
Yeah. No. The latest. Okay.
I only looked at like the Japanese version of Love is Blind. I watched a couple of episodes
because Love
of that.
is Blind is like going on blind dates and whatnot. This one is not.
But they don't see each other. They're just talking to each other through a wall. And they're like, hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello.
I think
polite to each other.
I think the Terrace House Hawaii is season 2 or 3. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I can't remember. But
so the one where he goes around to do like an ocular inspection of the date location is the one in Hawaii.
That's the one in Hawaii. Yes. I mean, it's called Terrace House Aloha State or whatever.
Sounds like a stalker, but okay.
But I'm just saying, come at the date, and then the girl, so they go through the date and they're just having a great time. It looks amazing. And then after the date, the girl roommates in the house talk about the date.
These are all
the room.
Hold on. These are all Japanese girls too?
All Japanese girls. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, there's some people that are mixed.
Okay.
You know, like one of the girls in this, one of the person in the Hawaii state is not even Japanese. She's Chinese and American, but she speaks Japanese.
So there's
You know what I
always
mean?
like a Japanese angle to it. Okay.
Yeah, it's all Japanese related and whatnot. They all speak Japanese.
Okay.
And there's also like some French and Japanese, whatever. As long as there's some kind of lineage connection, they're into the show, whatever.
Okay. Okay.
But now these girls, after the date, go to their room and they talk about the date. And now the guy, this Tai Shi character, looks like the most romantic person in the world. You know what I mean? The girl's like all smitten. She's like, it's like she knew everything. You know, he knew what to order. He opened my door.
Putting a
He
lot
knew
of
where to he knew
effort.
where to sit at what bench by the beach. I'm like,
Right. Nice.
anyway,
Yeah, girls like that, right? Does your wife like that? Like you decide on everything, like to sit at it?
I mean, not really, but for the most part, yeah. I mean, for the most part, I still open the door for my wife. So,
Mm,
you know what I mean? All the time. I've always been that kind of guy, though.
right.
I don't know.
Uh, you know what I looked at? Speaking of Netflix and watching nonsense shows on the side. Well, not to
I'm
say
sorry.
that not to say that what you're watching is nonsense.
Are we done with the Tagalog speaking thing language?
We could circle back into it.
Yeah,
Whatever. I just distract myself. I tapped on. What was the one that we were watching recently?
okay.
Huh?
Alin.
No. There was a reality thing that we were looking at. Ano ba yan? No, because
Love
I
is
also
blind.
no, not Love is
Ultimatum.
Blind. Oh no, I remember now. It's also I think it's no. This one's not Japanese. It's Korean.
Oh.
Love After Divorce.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Yeah. So it's all these obviously all these singles that all of them went through a divorce before, and then they're all single now, single and ready to mingle. And the first question that Tin here asks me is First question that Tin here asks me is, paano yung mga ex nila? Hindi ba naghahabol?
What?
Divorce na nga eh. Single na.
Divorce na nga.
May mga
Bakit
obsessed pa,
maghahabol?
may mga obsessed pa nga rin daw. So we never know. That's why you have to watch. So you
Right.
never know if and when somebody knocks on the door and asks,
Life
"Ako?"
after divorce?
No,
Or love after divorce?
Love After Divorce. It's a Korean, but I didn't end up watching the whole thing because I didn't want to read subtitles. So nakakatamad eh. But the concept of the show was so all these divorcees, single
I've
and
never really watched Korean shows, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen a single episode of one.
You mean reality shows or
any
like fantasy type? You're missing out, man.
Bro. Just reading the info on this, I'm gonna put it on my watch list.
What are you talking about? The divorcees?
Love after divorce.
Nice. So, yeah, I guess to put a ribbon on that topic, language. Again, for me, if I'm going to put any effort for it, for me, I was doing it for fun. Japanese when I was younger, I was trying to learn a little bit because I wanted to be a samurai or whatever. Or
what the hell?
date a Japanese girl, whatever. But people were always telling me, "Oh, learn Chinese or learn like Spanish or something like that because you can use it for business."
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden there's Tagalog in Harvard, which is cool. I think. I mean, it's nice.
I think it's cool
that there's a cultural. Of course, there's a that it's culturally that means the U.S. is culturally recognizing
Filipinos.
Filipino culture. I think it's great.
Yeah, they should. If they don't, who's going to work in the hospitals? Nobody's going to take care of them in the homes.
Right. Yeah. So, but yung palang, that's the business already. It's service or oriented business, I guess.
I think that's happening a lot more and more lately as well, is because the amount of Filipino teachers that are actually being brought to the US is expanding more and more and more. I think we talked about this at one point where there's these Filipino teachers that are signing up to come to the US, teach and whatnot,
Right.
Honestly, there's more and more Filipino teachers here that teach English.
That's funny.
Yeah, isn't that?
Yeah.
It's insane. You know, kasi ang mga Filipino teachers, they're just, well, Filipinos in general, for the most part, I'm not saying everybody, because there are Filipinos out here that are just ridiculously lazy. Okay. But for the most part, Filipinos here are hard workers. They really take pride into their work.
Yeah. I can imagine English teachers, Filipina English teachers, teaching about grammar or spelling and be like scratching their
Mhm.
head and like, you live where? And you spell how? Ay, just por santos. Parang, we
And you don't know the capital of your state? Ano?
yeah. and and you like I can't think of an example, but to the effect of you don't say what's up when you say hello to your teacher. You say good morning po, good morning ma'am.
You don't raise your hand and say, "Ma'am, I go out."
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah, I missed.
remember that? That's one thing I remember with teaching school as well, in elementary school. It's like, "Mom, may I go out, please?" Just to go to the bathroom.
I missed that when I got back here that I could ma'am, sir, my college professors or teachers, there was a certain I guess the word is lambing when
Yeah.
like when you talk to each other, mom, like blah 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 whatever. But there it's like Mr. Ofresho or Mr. Jason, or they just you call each other sort of on a first name basis, which is also cool. There's like some level of
Respect, yeah.
I don't know if it's respect, but there's like it makes you feel more comfortable because you're calling each
Mm.
other by first name basis.
Right.
But there's some kind of dynamic also when you're I don't remember. How do you call your instructors or your professors when you were in school? Just by
Here,
first name basis? Yeah.
here, last name. It's like Mr. or Miss or Mrs. Miss, and then last name. Like Mr. Echapar
You're right.
or Mr. Crockett,
Yeah.
or Miss Webb.
Do you have
It's
any
always by last name.
do you have any news on Mr. Crockett and Miss Zimmer? Those are the two people that I miss from
Miss Zimmer, yeah, right. Her husband, Mr. Zimmer, was my counselor. Oh no, that's Mr. Zuardo. I apologize. Um, no, not really. I haven't heard anything about them, Mr. Crockett. I can't believe you remember Mr. Crockett to begin with. You know,
how could I not?
yeah. I mean, he was one of my favorite teachers, and he's the one that really got me into the whole theater thing back then. You know.
Mm, maybe he was looking for a Filipino replacement when I left.
Probably.
Right?
He probably assumed I had a video camera.
Right.
Yeah. Um yeah, but I've never really heard anything back from them. I did see there was a couple of years. I went to California to visit. The last time I walked into our El Camino High School was 2001, I think. Maybe
Mm,
just to visit. Maybe 2002. I don't know. But he was still there, Mr. Crockett, and he actually remembered me. Yeah.
I was there
Which was
2004.
huh?
I was there 2004. I
Oh,
dropped
nice.
in. I dropped in. He remembered me, and he was like, took a little picture. Actually, yeah, I should share that with you. But yeah,
Hold on,
no,
Mr. Crockett was still there at
yeah,
2004?
right,
Nice.
right, right. Wait, sorry, I'm all over the place here. Just one real quick thing that I wanted to drop in there. Anthony
Yep.
drove me around, and he was
Yep.
showing me like, look, there's a BART station by the school,
What?
and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah. I saw that one at one point.
okay, not interesting. But yeah, it's so strange to have a train station there.
Yeah, they tore down the freaking deli across the street.
Oh, Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Anyway, can we go back real quick, circle back real quick to these Filipino teachers?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of amazed at like how it's not just your typical standard nursing anymore, or what postal service that are being stereotyped of Filipinos as professions here and whatnot.
Teachers now are also being
Now there's a lot of
stereotyped.
teachers migrating here. A lot of them are in Chicago as well, actually, and California, and they get contracts, 2 or 3 year contracts, and then eventually there's quite a number of uh teachers that get permanent jobs that are offered by the school district, which I think was kind of cool.
What's happening there? Like a lot of the local teachers weren't applying, and they didn't. So there were a lot of jobs that were vacant.
Well,
Nobody was taking
that
it.
too. There's just a shortage of teachers. Not everybody's just. Unfortunately, the younger generations nowadays, they're not really into the whole having a regular job, or a lifestyle.
Right, but you're talking about teachers specifically. I mean, is there? With
Like an
that,
example, teachers. Yeah, nobody wants to be a teacher anymore. Besides the fact that the pay is not as good.
yeah, but with that logic, then there would be all other different types of jobs also. But why specifically teachers? Because it's low.
There's no specifics.
Because it's
It's
low
not being
paying.
specific to teachers. The whole thing, really.
Because it's low paying specifically, probably.
Correct. That, and it's one, low paying. Two, not a lot of people want to be teachers anymore. Unfortunately,
Mm.
there is a dynamic of character that's going on here in the States where people are looking at standard jobs. When I say standards, like being or public serving jobs,
Mm-hmm.
like being a teacher, for example,
Mm-hmm.
as not exactly as a, I don't know, prideful occupation.
Yeah, everybody wants to be a YouTuber
Exactly.
or a TikToker.
Everybody wants to.
I'm a TikTok creator.
Not everybody's into the whole working from home anymore, or working in 9 to 5 anymore. Is what I meant.
Right.
So because of that, like specifically with teachers in California and Chicago and even in New York, there's a lot of shortage. So the public school districts are venturing into going overseas to try to find replacement teachers. Like there's a lot of Indian replacement teachers, and unfortunately, stereotypes do apply. Just to let you know, there's a lot of Indian teachers that are either science teachers or math teachers. You know what I mean? Plus, teachers specifically don't exactly get the average respect that most people get anymore when it comes to their profession. Like, there's this other thing that going on in in TikTok the other day, where a teacher was teaching in class. All of a sudden, a student takes off her shoe and just throws it at the board.
What's this, high school?
Yeah. High school.
And
no
what,
respect anymore, yeah.
What's this? People were laughing. People found it funny. And I guess
exactly.
they planned to do it because somebody was recording.
Exactly.
Like, turn on your phone, start the camera, watch this.
Yeah, pretty much. That sucks. They don't get the respect that they do nowadays. I mean, not everybody, okay? I'm not saying every kid or every new younger generation are horrible.
Listen, the craziest and the funniest thing that ever happened to me back in high school that's just so freaking memorable back in the 90s when I was like in 9th, 10th grade?
Okay.
Was spitballs. Spitballs up in the ceiling. Like, I just found it so freaking hilarious. No cell phones. Nobody was there to take a video. It's just all in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, spitballs. And then a week, 2 weeks later, I still see it and I still have a nice giggle. Just seeing it up in the ceiling.
Right.
That was like the height of but now you're telling me about shoes flying across the room.
Shoes, books, whatever. It's horrible. I kid you not. So there's this one teacher as well who created this slot. It's like a board where all these pockets, right, on them. And basically, the idea was she put it on top of her, in front of her desk. The idea is when a student comes into to the room, to put the phone in there. You know what I mean? So that it's in front of the class, and then the students can see it. So at least nobody's touching their phones or using their phones, right?
Right.
So this girl walks in, first day of school, everybody's doing it. Decides, no, I want to hold my phone. You don't have the right to take my phone away. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why can't you just, do it? It's going to be right in front of you. You can see it. The only difference is you're not using it. The whole point is for you to pay attention in class, right?
And of course, she's taking a video of the whole thing.
Oh, exactly. You're taking my right away. You're taking my privacy away. My blah, blah, blah. Are you kidding me? Put the fucking phone in front of the little slot right there. Sit your ass down and listen and learn something. It's insane.
You and your rights. You and your freedom of speech.
You privileged little prick.
First, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth Amendment, or whatever other rules that you like to slap on.
I mean, I understand where she's coming from, but at the same time, I don't get it because it's too simple. Really? It's going to affect you that much? You're trading off looking in your phone to learning. Hello?
But is it groupthink? I mean, would you applaud her for thinking, independently on her own and not following the crowd?
No, not at all. I think it's stupid because one, this girl was acting like she's really privileged. And two, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to bother you. It's not going to affect you negatively. You're just putting it in front of the class so that you can actually go back to your seat, sit down, listen to what's being taught to you by your teacher in the classroom in school.
It's a budding Karen.
Yeah.
Blooming.
You go to school to learn, not to use your phone,
There's a lot of the Karen videos that I've seen. It's a lot like, yeah, you're right. But yes, but in the grand scheme of things, though, like, do you really
because
have
that's
to
what that is. The bottom line is it's in the grand scheme of things. It's
right.
Too simple.
You really have to be right at this moment for sure. Like there's no other option. There's no other possible solution to what you're talking about.
Right.
It's just you and your rights and how, you're being offended because especially the person that you're speaking to is colored and not white, which is what
and
makes it even worse.
That plays a factor too.
Which is another issue. Yeah. But like really, in the grand scheme of things.
But yeah, circling back. So these Filipinos end up coming here, and then after the school year, they go back to the Philippines, hoping that they would get re-signed or get another contract for the next school year type of thing.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
No, it's not a permanent thing. I mean, it's literally a school year contract.
Wow.
And a lot of these Filipinos are, because even though, so there's a lady that's in charge or company that sets these up. So the Filipinos will pay a certain amount for the paperwork to be processed, the visas, to getting the contracts. Right. And then when they come here, they work for the school year and then they go back home the next at the end of the school season,
Right. So
because what they make in the school year is still a lot more than, working as a teacher in the Philippines.
No, the reason I ask is so the contract is not like having a job there as a nurse where it's not seasonal, it's not yearly. Once you're hired by the hospital, you're there.
Right. I think for first timers, I think it's a one school year contract. And then the school district or the school, if they like you or not, will probably extend it before you go, maybe a multiple year contract. It's not always a 1 year contract. There's some where it's 2-3 years contract, or for even longer, depending if the school district likes you, obviously, you know?
So, do any of your kids have any Filipino teachers?
No, unfortunately not. There's not a lot over here. It's
Because of
I don't
your
even remember having an Asian teacher in high school, to be honest with you.
back in California?
Yeah, back in California. No, I don't even
Oh,
remember. Yeah. Um,
hmm.
and these Filipino workers that are going in, they're they take pride into their job.
Hmm.
There's the way I see it, when an OFW comes to places like this, like the States and whatnot, there's two types of OFWs, or overseas Filipino workers. That's what they're going down to and whatnot, or called.
Hmm.
So, for example, there might be a Filipino that would come here, will take advantage of every opportunity that they can have to
Hmm.
be able to have a better life for them in the Philippines. Or there would be the other kind of Filipino worker that when they get here,
Hmm.
they get the feeling and the excitement of a new life type of thing where, oh, let's go party. Oh, let's go drink. Let's go art, type of thing. You know,
Hmm.
they'll do their work and then they'll go have fun and party and all that stuff. And not to say that the other Filipinos don't,
Hmm.
but the other Filipinos would adapt too much into the American culture.
You're saying they're overdoing it,
Correct. Yeah.
having a little too much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you
But,
gonna? You plan to snitching on them? Sir.
but that is kind of cool though that Harvard is now teaching Tagalog. And it seems like it is legit because I Googled it. Um,
In other news, speaking
yeah.
of traveling back and forth there, there's some news that I saw a couple of weeks ago. There's a new route, United Airlines, to fly direct to Manila from San Francisco. According to the news, it's like the first time that this has happened. Have you heard about this before?
No, I thought they've always done that before. Oh, United Airlines.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Not.
No,
I
I
mean, no.
never.
Okay, let me read the whole thing that I wrote down here. The airline just announced that starting October 29, they
Mm,
will begin flying nonstop to the Philippines capital, Manila, I guess, using their largest aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER. This makes United Airlines, U.S. based, obviously, the only
right.
U.S. flag carrier to operate nonstop stateside to the Philippines. So yes, there are other carriers, of course, going to and from the U.S. But according to the way I understand this, is that yeah, it's the only U.S. carrier that
United.
goes direct to Manila.
Ah, that's got to cost an arm and a leg, I'm sure.
Because I remember, because if you take Delta or any other U.S. carrier, like you have to pass through Japan or go all the way
Yeah.
around before you go direct
Or
to Manila.
Singapore.
There's
Yeah.
no direct flight. So I guess this is the first one.
I don't know. I've never, yeah, just, I guess, come to think of it, before they would either stop into Hawaii.
Mm.
If they're going that direction, they would stop in Hawaii and then go to the Philippines. Or if they're going the east route, they'd stop in Chicago or New York or even Texas for that matter before flying all the way across.
So it becomes like a 15, 20-hour flight versus a 13-hour straight flight.
Yeah. I wonder how much that would cost though, if it's a direct flight like that.
Wow. Some
But this,
tacos just walked in. Like, did you order these? Yeah.
like Taco Bell?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this is a
What?
Taco Bell burrito here in the Philippines. I don't know if you could
All
see
right, it's
that.
about the same size over here. I'm always trying to find that now, by the way.
Cali?
I'm trying to look for that Cali drink because I've
Oh.
never had it. I've never tried it, and it looks interesting.
You know what you do? You get
Oh.
Sprite and San Miguel beer, pale Pilsen.
Mm.
Put that together like 50-50. Taste
Mm.
about the same. It's a shandy.
Is that an alcohol drink?
No, not really. It's like
It's probably a lot of sugar
how
in that,
much?
though.
Yeah, a lot of sugar.
Wow, I'm all right. I'll pass.
3% calories. May alak ba to? Yeah. Saan nakalagay? How much does it say? Non-alcoholic. But no,
Oh, okay, good.
the other one is better. San
Yeah.
Miguel Pale Pilsen plus either 7 Up or Sprite, one of those. Put
Right,
that
right,
in.
right,
It's
right.
like a shandy. You get practically the same thing with less sugar, but more alcohol.
Nice. Nice.
But I mean, if you're curious why did you want to find out how it tastes like? You saw it
because you've been
somewhere?
drinking it forever.
Oh, I
You
thought,
had that on our first episode of the show.
oh, that's funny. I thought you saw it in some like h- terrace house episode or something like that.
No, you were drinking it the first episode and then a couple episodes or whatever. You randomly drink it on the show. So I'm like, okay, why not? You know what? I want to try it. Take a look, see how it is.
It's funny that you noticed that. It's my dad that actually introduced me to that. But yun nga, and he was also the one that introduced, it's shandy. It's the same thing as
Right.
Sprite and San Miguel beer. Just put those together. And then with that, you can also control how bitter or how, but yeah, you're right. This one's got too
Yeah.
much sugar.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead.
no, nothing important. Go ahead.
No, going back to this the United Flight thing.
Mm,
It's
not sponsored.
hey Callie, knock on wood. Now, I don't know. For some reason, I'm just curious about how much that would cost though. And plus, if it's a direct flight, why would it take longer?
Who said it was going to take longer?
You did.
No. It's going to be shorter. It'll be like 13 hours.
Oh, you
Because-
said it backwards then.
Yeah. No. When I fly Philippine Airlines to San Francisco, it's about 13 hours.
Mm,
And that's what my other friends would complain about if they fly, I think Delta or the other way around, where they have to pass through
yeah.
Japan or any other country before they get to the Philippines. So it's about
Right,
15,
right.
15, 20 hours, practically a whole day. Like I think maybe even 24 hours just to get
Yeah.
to the Philippines. So with a direct flight, yeah, it's only about 13 hours to get here.
Well, that's good. I'm just curious. I want to find out eventually. I wonder when they're going to roll that out and then what's going to cost.
Yun
You know.
nga, October 29.
Yeah.
But again, it's a big deal, so to speak, in terms of it being a U.S. carrier. I mean, yes,
Right,
there are
right.
other like Asian carriers that fly to and from direct to San Francisco, but this one
Right.
specifically is U.S. based. So
I'm sure that's going to cost an arm and a leg since it's a direct flight. Plus, people from the East Coast, it's going to cost even more to
Can't
do
you-
that because we'd have to fly to California to San Francisco and then take that all the way.
can't you make the booking now? Like as early as now? It's September already.
Even if I make the booking now, it's still going to be expensive.
Are you familiar with the peso sale?
Yeah, you told me about. We talked about that.
Right. So the other day, Tin tells me, "Oh, hey, there's peso sale to Taiwan." And as soon as she said it to me, I started laughing because I was like, by the time that you decide to go to Taiwan, like
Yeah.
2 seconds from now, wala na yan. Which is true. She clicked on the link and it's gone.
Oh my god!
Dude, like when these
Why
guys,
not though? I mean, of
when
course,
these guys-
it's peso.
right, when these guys pop out a peso sale, it's gone in like 2 minutes.
Right.
And here's the thing. Here's the catch. The trip.
Yeah.
April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2024.
Wow. Wow. And then what? You get there April 1st. Oh, your flight's canceled. What? We'll give you a refund. Ah, see?
COVID or COVID or whatever. You're locked down.
Not worth it kasi ano lang yun, fair lang yun, not walang hotel.
Fair lang. Yeah, oo naman. Fair lang daw yun. Walang hotel. Pero still,
Hmm.
piso, nakatipid ka pa rin.
It's huge difference.
Huh?
May binabayaran pa rin.
Yeah, you're still gonna have to pay for something, but still, it's not going to be the same price.
Yeah. You're probably going to have to pay for taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's still going to come out,
For
you know.
example, Taiwan.
Pero biruin mo if it is a sale like that, although it would be harder from the Philippines because then you'd have to take the time to get your visas and all that stuff, you know.
Mm.
If they had that here and I see it, man, I'll book all of it. I don't care where it's going because it's easier to travel if you have a blue passport. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yun nga.
Yun lang yun.
The thing is, you have to be online like 24 hours, like waiting, refreshing, refreshing their Twitter. I don't know where they
Refresh.
put,
Refresh.
and you never know when it's going to pop out.
Right.
And
So what are
I'm
you
not
gonna do?
e-
Just sit there all the time watching?
that's what people do. Sometimes, as in literally, it's gone in like a minute,
Yeah.
dude.
I-flip ko na yung book.
Yeah,
Book
but
now?
here she is still waiting to ask me like, what do you think, Taiwan? And I'm like, that's
Just
gone.
do it. Just if it's only piso, book it anyway. Pag
Yeah.
hindi man yan, you lost 1 peso.
But I think
Come
the
on.
catch also is you have to do the booking online, which means credit card or debit card, which neither one of us has anything.
Oh. So how do you book a flight if you don't have a credit card?
I don't. I used to do it like over the counter or borrow somebody's credit card.
Oh my God. See, that's what I'm saying though. That's why if you go to the store, here what you should do. You need to buy a prepaid card that just has a little bit in it and then just keep it. That's it. You don't need to use it just in case purposes ba.
Yeah, right. Well,
Yeah.
Don't have
Um,
passport.
I don't even have a passport.
Don't
Come on.
register.
So-
Makareklamo to. Kain na lang nga tayo.
Here's
Excuse me,
the since kumakain ka, this guy's eating during a recording, by the way. Ridiculous. So I wanted to talk about this.
No respect.
The Philippines rolls out the food stamps program, the EBT food stamps program.
Here in the Philippines?
I swear, seriously, I send you those links for you to read.
Tell me about it. The audience doesn't
Jesus.
know what you're talking about.
What? Well, okay. So I sent you this link maybe 2 days ago. It's about the Philippines. Actually, my wife got me into this, rolling out the EBT program, the food stamps program. Okay.
Yeah,
Let me
that-
find that link real quick just so that I have it up.
sounds familiar. I think I looked into it.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing how finally all this time the Philippines
Oh, there.
gets into the program for this. So
In Tondo,
Philippines
yeah.
rolls out Manila, Philippines government Tuesday kicked off the pilot implementation of the food stamp programs in Tondo.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I guess they tried it out in Tondo where 50 families initially was tested it from, basically it's the welfare program where a family could get as much as 3,000 pesos per family per
Pesos.
month. Yeah. Okay, man. All right. So it's fine. These families will be beneficial for 3,000 pesos received monthly for credits through
Mm.
electronic EBT, basically, right?
Mhm.
And they can use 1,500 pesos for carbs, any kind of carbohydrates products,
Mm.
900 pesos for proteins, 600 pesos for fats and vegetables and all that stuff. That's how it's broken down. And basically, what's even more amazing for this is it's all processed through a biometric system. So it's fingerprinting. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Because here, the EBT program here is, or the food stamps program here, it's still through a card. They'll
Mm.
mail you a EBT card or a prepaid Visa or MasterCard where they'll deposit the funds to on a monthly basis. You know what I mean? And then people can use it, whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. So I guess this is like the nobody gets hungry campaign that President Marcos is
Mm-hmm.
implementing. So basically, he wants his presidency to end and have zero hunger in the Philippines. Supposedly,
Mhm.
that's why this has been started. Which I think it's about time, that the Philippine government takes care of its citizens like this. It's been
Mhm.
so long that people are going hungry because they can't afford anything, can't afford food, especially
Mhm.
with the cost of things going up.
There's a lot of
Now-
programs, rules, regulations, laws in the Philippines that are really good. That a lot of
Yeah.
it is really just implementation / how am I going to make money off of it? Otherwise, let's not work on it anymore.
Exactly. And well, plus maybe the funds are being dispersed, but it's just not being used adequately or correctly, you know?
What are you thinking?
Tapos, meron pa, I can already see a couple of problems with this one, though, based on how Filipinos are, Unfortunately, obviously, people will love this program because it's for everybody who's going to qualify. 3,000 pesos is not a lot of money, but it's going to put food in people's tables. Is it enough to last a month? I don't know, but it's something. Now, that's where some Filipinos might actually question it because it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. That's where the greed comes into play.
Mm.
So it could be a 50-50 situation for the Filipinos on how this is accepted. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
What do
we're
you
pretty
think?
we're pretty good at gaming the system.
That's the thing. I don't think it's just Filipinos. It's everywhere as well, even here in the US.
Can
Honestly,
my only
good.
two centavos of this experience was back in like 1989, I think, 90 when we had that 1990 earthquake, July 16, 1990. And then I was helping out with the soup kitchen. It was an emergency. Nobody had anything to eat. So people were
Yeah.
filing. And there was a couple of restaurants that, put together a soup kitchen. Anyway, so people were lining up. And then I was, 10, 11 years old. I was in charge of, making sure that the line was orderly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like first day in the job, like in the afternoon, I was like, weren't you here this morning? Yeah, but I'm here for my brother or my sister, ganyan. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but pero pumila ka na kanina. You were here already a while ago, and yeah,
Exactly.
But, eh.
Working the system. This whole program is a good opportunity for the Filipino government to really take care and watch out for its citizens.
I don't want to sound negative about what I just said, but the thing is, whether it works, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
If people game the system, they get 2 burgers instead of just one allocated one. The way I see it, as long as we're trying, basta meron, basta masubukan.
Yun na nga.
Versus not doing anything. That's my.
Yeah.
And then we fix it down the line.
Right.
Versus waiting until some, savior
Hold on,
comes down to
Christine's
help us
raising her
out.
hand.
Yeah, but you don't have a microphone. You don't get to talk. Ano yun, te?
Kaya nagbibigay ng pagkain yan. Kasi
Kaya nagbibigay doon ng pagkain kasi
nangangampanya.
nangangampanya na.
But he's already president.
Yeah, for the next.
He can't run anymore.
No, pero
For the next successor or whatever.
chairman.
I don't know. If
Kasi
I don't want to look at it that way.
Tondo eh.
Lumaki daw ng tondo.
Kaya alam ko yan.
Marcos grew up in Tondo.
Ano?
No, she grew up in Tondo. Pero sino ba yung
okay.
namamahala doon sa Tondo? Pero yun nga, hindi na bahala. Like, huwag na nating masamain. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I know.
Whether it's if they're doing it for a re-election or whatever, as long as it gets done, as long as
yung mga tao, they don't take advantage of this because it's grasya na to eh. Pagkain na to sa mesa mo.
Pero makuha lang yung boto nila para mabigyan ng pagkain.
Well, I don't want to look at it that way though. That's what I'm saying. The Philippine government has a sponsor and in partnership with Asian Development Bank, okay? They're basically funding 160 million pesos to be able to fund this. So basically, who knows? The start is 300 pesos for 50 families. That was the trial basis. Eventually, it's going to be 3,000 pesos per month for families for food only. So they go to the store, they go grocery shopping, but they buy slippers, shoes, whatever to go along with it. When they scan their fingers, it's only going to charge the food, the clothes, the slippers, or whatever, anything that's not food related, they're going to have to pay on their own. Does that make sense?
Galing, galing.
Yeah, same thing here. For example, when you go grocery shopping here, and then all of a sudden you saw, um, toilet, not, I don't know, a box of shoes, for
Right,
example, that's $20, and your bill is $600.
right.
You're only gonna get charged $580, and then the $20 for the shoes you're gonna have to pay separate.
Mm-mm.
You
Yeah.
know,
So yeah, it's high tech that they can figure out what they're
right?
what they're paying for versus extra
Correct.
stuff that they're not
Right.
entitled to. Yeah, that's cool. But
I'm
yun
just
nga,
hoping that these Filipinos communities don't take advantage of the system, because and wag nilang anuhin ba. I think if they learn and realize that they shouldn't take it for granted and take advantage of it, it's gonna eventually get better, because
put your hands down.
it's
This stuff.
it's gonna get better. Sayang eh. As much as we don't, let's like what your girl said, it could be because of a campaign thing, where hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's long term, right? Here, people will purposely work the system to keep getting these, and it sucks.
Lifetime. I know what do you call that? The welfare, right? Like lifetime
Yeah.
welfare.
Welfare, EBT, welfare. What you want? Go ahead.
Paano naman kung nagbibigay ang gobyerno ng pagkain para sa senior at pera, pero kinukurakot ng mga nakaupo?
Can you hear her?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I know. Yun na nga sabi ko eh. As much as I don't want to say that, maybe just be optimistic. Let the citizens, hopefully they can be optimistic about this program, because there's too many people that are going hungry in the Philippines, especially in Manila.
Natawa ako dyan. Ito senior nangihingi. Ang sagot ng nakaupo is, mayaman ka naman, bakit kailangan mo pa nito?
Yeah.
It's a senior.
Well, that's where I'm saying. That's where, if you have money and you work, don't apply for it. Plus, they probably won't get approved to begin with, because there has to be some kind of
they
level.
do. Sometimes they do. That's why guys, some people know how to work the system, and they do get approved. They're already earning thousands, millions of pesos per month, and they still get like 3,000 pesos off of the government. But that's what I'm talking about. Somebody's always going to be gaming the system. It's their job to figure it out. But for the people that are getting hungry, at least there's food on the table.
Right.
I mean,
the flip side of that here, there's literally people who will purposely work part-time only so that they don't earn the maximum amount on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Or on a monthly basis, so that they still get the welfare.
The freebies.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. But if you work the system, I mean, come on. Gracia ne, it's that's once upon a time, I did go through the system because I was hungry. It needs help. If people need help, it's fine.
Where'd you do it?
In California.
You applied?
Yeah.
This was after you slept on the train?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or during?
No, after.
Is it difficult to apply?
In California, it was. Once upon a time here, we applied here too because struggling. But for the most part, you make certain dollar figure, you get cut off.
I see.
Yeah.
And then some people sort of ride that out and not make
forever
enough so that they can just live on it forever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's not. If talagang wala ka na magagawa, obviously, there's just a lot of families out there that are going hungry, And there's just a lot of families out there, or a lot of people out there, that just take advantage of the system too much. Nakakaano lang eh. It's like, I believe in karma, It's going to go back to you one way or the other. I don't want to deal with that. It's personally. I mean, is there shame into asking for help? No. If you really have to need help, fine. But you got to be able to make sure to do your part. That's my point. Now, and flip side of that, in the Philippines, I hope that this program in the Philippines stands and lasts for a very, very long time because Philippines, this is a developing country, and unfortunately, it's either you have money or you don't. It's either you can eat or you don't. There's too many starving people in the Philippines, and if people don't take advantage of the system, that allows the system to grow more and more bigger, which means more and more money and sustainable help for these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ako naman, my philosophy about, supporting the idea of doing welfare here
Yeah.
is a lot like, the way we're doing this podcast, in a sense, like what? There could be 1-2 people listening. Nobody's listening. Maybe sometime
Right.
in the future, maybe not, whatevs. But we're gaming the system in a sense that we can, because we can do it. So let it be messy. Let it be sucky. Let it be like a bad program, a bad show. But we're taking advantage of the fact that we can do it. / as long as we're not hurting the country's budget, I guess.
That's the difference, though. We don't need what we're doing. Yes, it's almost the same thing, but it's not like we're having any kind of negative implementation or effect to anything.
But I think the philosophy that I really want to get across is that we'll course correct as we go along. Like, it's going to be bad at first. Yes, people are going to game the system. People are going to take advantage. But it doesn't mean that we don't do it. We do it, and then we course correct or fix or adjust it as we go along.
It's easier said than done.
Versus not doing anything at all.
Well, no, that's a horrible outlook on it, because, for example, you have $160 million or pesos right now to allocate to help families. Okay. Is that money going to be there forever? No, it's not. It's only going to be able to sustain for a short period of time. But if it goes to the families that are more deserving, if this EBT program in the Philippines goes to the proper families that are more deserving, and yung mga Pilipino na pamilya na may kita naman, nakakakain pa rin ng kahit na konti.
Yeah.
If they don't really need it, don't take advantage of it.
Right.
It's the mentality of wanting more and more and more, free. Yeah, I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. Pero, sana naman, isipin mo na, you know what? Tayo nakakakain tayo on a monthly basis or every day kahit na konti lang. Sila naghihirap na talaga. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pero hindi sila taga-Tondo. They live in Taguig.
Taguig or Quiapo
or Las Piñas.
Or,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of technicalities, but the way I see it, it's the authorities' job to sort of do diligence. I mean, yes, makonsensya ka if you don't.
That's
need
it. Guilt, consensya, right? Guilt, consensya.
Yeah, your conscience. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm with you. If you don't need it, don't fall in line. But who's to blame them for trying?
Well, that's a horrible mentality, though. Why does anybody have to put it against them for trying? That should be an individual. It's just good thought, good-hearted. Why does anybody have to hindi naman, alam mo, wala namang mali kung mag-try eh. Pero isipin mo naman ba, kung gano'n ang mentality mo, kung ikaw nagugutom, tapos ako may pera naman na pangkain, magagalit ba ang mga tao sa akin for getting it? Well, you deserve it more. You're hungry more.
Let me tell you this story. Yeah, but again, like I said, my stand is you can't really blame them for trying. Listen to this story.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can blame them for trying.
But yun nga, my side is like that because that's their mentality. Ako naman, you have to listen to this story, and we're running up to about an hour already, so let's try to wrap things up. But listen to this story.
We got 10 minutes. We
go to this carinderia. There's this kid. She must be 4 or 5, maybe 6 years old the most. Broken teeth and everything. She looks like a street kid, but she's friendly. She comes up to me every time, and after 10 times, I finally talk to her. Every time she comes up to me and, Kuya, 5 piso, pahingi. It's always asking me for 5 pesos, 5 pesos. Finally, I talked to her. pwede saging na lang. Kuha na lang kita ng saging. Saging is like 12 pesos, 18 pesos, something like that. More than 5
Hmm.
pesos, right? But in her mind, she wants 5 pesos. Like, does she not get it? That
Okay.
the
Well,
saging
she
that I'm-
probably got it, but you can get more from 5 pesos. Like you can get ramen noodles.
No, you can't.
You
But yeah,
can't?
I know what you mean. You can get something else. Like she could choose what she wants.
Right.
But point that I'm saying is that, you know, being the guy that she's asking money from, I'm willing to give her something, but not the 5 pesos. I want to give her either the saging
Food.
or maybe rice with some soup in it or whatever,
Hmm.
but not the 5 pesos. There's something icky about me giving a 5-year-old kid 5 pesos. Got
Yeah.
no connection with whatever it is that you were talking about a while ago.
Right,
But
right,
I
right.
guess what
No,
I'm
no, I know
saying
what you're saying
is
though.
that
It's working the system still.
work in the system, and at the same time, like, you know, no insult. I don't mean any insult, but these people that are trying to take advantage of the system are like the 5-year-old kid. Like, doesn't
It's not just kids, it's everybody really.
no. But what I'm saying is like they
No, I know what you mean. No.
don't get the value of the eight of the banana versus the 5 pesos that they were asking for.
So on a similar note here, on a similar story. So near my work, there's a CVS, right? It's an intersection where the light is. It's a very, very busy intersection. So
Hmm.
almost every week I see this lady, you know, panhandling for change, begging. You know, she has a sign at the intersection like, hey, help me, whatever. Going hungry. She's kind of like the bigger set lady with a cane. And I pass her all the time. Do I ever give her money? No, because she looks like what. I'm gonna get back to that. But one of these days, I had to go to CVS to get something for my work. Right.
Hmm.
I saw the same girl who was begging for money walking around CVS, and then she buys a Kit Kat bar. Okay, she buys a Kit Kat bar, chocolate, and she wasn't using her cane. She was just regular, normal. Not like she wasn't pretend. Here's the kicker. I go into my car, and then there's a lady that walks to this van that's parked next to my truck. It's that same girl, that same lady who's panhandling for money.
Nice.
She gets into a gray Dodge van. And I'm like, I just turned around like this because she was parked right here. I'm like, what?
Sounds like you have
You're
a career. Sounds like you have a career in being a private investigator.
It's crazy though. She literally, first of all, I'm already thinking to myself, okay, you don't need to wobble. You can walk straight because I just caught her right in the middle of the CVS. On top of that, whatever money you begged from on the street, you buy a Kit Kat bar. On top of that, you get into your van. So if you have a van, which by the way looked really clean.
So she's panhandling as a hobby.
Yeah. Perfect example of taking advantage of the system. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe that people do this. And this area where I worked, it's called Tyson's Corner. It's kind of like a rich area, you know, it's an old money, expensive place, whatever. And she's just there on the street. And then I see her, watch her get into a van and drive off. I was baffled by this, you know. I was like, one of these days, I don't know, maybe I'm like thinking to myself, maybe I should like call her out into it.
Yeah, you're gonna snitch on her and say like,
I know, right?
Oy.
But I just figured, you know what? Karma's a bitch. It's gonna come back to you.
Not today though.
Not today, no. She's probably having a steak dinner now. All
But
you can
yeah.
eat breakfast buffet.
That's the thing, you know, like people do their thing and they don't necessarily feel bad about it. And like,
Right.
who are we to say like, you're doing something bad?
Right. Well, anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Hopefully this EBT program in the Philippines works out. it actually benefits the citizens of the Philippines, especially the ones that actually deserve it. But we'll only see what happens.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
have like each city here has their own like sort of benefits. Here in Las Piñas, they have like this thing called like a green card where you get free. I don't know almost a green card, like free medical, free hospitalization and stuff like that. They have their own sort of benefits to sort of
Only for Las Piñas.
to sort of encourage you to live in this district or this city,
Right.
or there's also
Okay.
Makati, blah blah blah, like that. So I guess the one in Tondo has their own thing.
Well, I think this program. They just started or tested it in Tondo. Eventually,
Right.
it's gonna go nationwide. That's the
No,
plan.
it's apples and oranges. It's not a good example, huh?
Iba yung benefits nila sa senior pag Manila ka. Tapos iba yung
Yeah.
Las Piñas.
Yeah, no, but it's a bad example. But yeah, it's apples and oranges.
Hmm.
Right. So if it works in Tondo, what you're saying is that they hope to do it rest of Metro Manila.
Nationwide. Yeah.
Rest of Metro Manila and then nationwide maybe.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen.
So small rollout, and I guess they'll figure out the kinks and see how they game the system and how they could figure it out.
Right.
But again, I go back to what I was saying, that it's going to be clunky at first, birth pains.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed, that they'll figure it out and it works out. Is it done in like other countries?
What do you mean?
This project that they have in Tondo about feeding welfare?
Well, I mean, like here in the US, it's the EBT program. The exact same thing.
Same idea. No, but with the system, with the biometrics and everything.
Well, here it's not biometrically done. I don't think yet. I mean, we don't use it right now. I think it's like a card.
Wait,
It's definitely a card because
free
before
housing
when
sa Tondo? May free housing na rin daw?
oh, that's good.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But this one that you're saying specifically is for food.
Correct. For food.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have time real quick? Few
Go
more
for
minutes here. Can we go a little bit over here?
This is the lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round here. I also sent you another list or another link the other day regarding travel destinations, travel list, places to visit in 2023 or 2022, whatever.
This really bothers you, doesn't it?
It really bothered the shit out of me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, okay? So it baffles my mind that the Philippines is not even in any of the lists that I saw. For 2023, for example.
What kind of list is it? Tell us exactly what it's all about first.
Well, it's a destination travel 2023. For example, this is one that's like US Guide or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's because the US is not exactly educated enough in regards to Philippine travel, right?
Okay.
When they talk about Southeast Asia, they're probably thinking about Thailand or Singapore or Hong Kong and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
For those who might know, in regards to the Philippines, then they'll do their due diligence in regards to travel here.
Mm-hmm.
But it bothers me that all these travel guides that I see online, I guess these are all American-based travel guides. The Philippines is not even close to being top 25 of travel destinations in the world. And it pisses me off. Because I get it in a good way and a bad way, because I'm hoping that they don't find out all of a sudden and they bombard tourist attractions to the Philippines, But the Philippines is such a beautiful place. I'm Filipino. I've never done all these things that these people are doing over there, and I want to do it still.
Listening to you say that, I'm coming to realize that maybe it's got something to do with those 25 countries sort of marketing or convincing, baka there's also konting lagay and like, hey, put us in that 25 list of
You
like,
think so?
Maybe we weren't in on it. Or Philippines is like this quiet, like, oh, don't tell everybody because we don't want everybody to jump in.
Right.
To get
like the
here.
hidden gem type of thing.
Yeah. Plus, And I looked at the list. It was like all these places were like expensive.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think a lot of it has also got to do with like facilities that we might or might not have in that list of 25. Like for example, there's a lot of, let's say, good dive sites here in the Philippines,
Right.
but a lot of it is there are no scuba tanks, there are no boats. You got to bring, it's like an expedition. So it's like the place is not ready. It's not
Right.
it's
Right.
not tourist ready. We can't, like, the place can't accommodate the tourists. And there's
I think
some,
so. I mean, that's definitely right, because how else would, yeah, you're right. You're right. But for the most part, though, I mean, the Philippines has some of the most beautiful islands in the world.
yun
Palawan
nga,
itself is like, wow,
right, yun nga. But infrastructure wise, Wi-Fi, accommodations, how do you get there? Like it takes you
Yeah.
3 days just to see a tarsier, for example.
Mm, mm, mm.
I'm guessing because I looked at the list of 25 that you sent me. It's like they're all
Yeah.
expensive because they're all like you get there from the airport, you just walk down
Right.
the red carpet and you're in paradise.
Right.
Here you got to ride the tricycle, you got to transfer to the jeepney, which for me is the way to go, or it's like you're living local, so to speak.
Right. Right.
Maybe it's just done differently. Maybe they recommend these 25 places because these are the most sort of tourist friendly places.
Well, here's the thing, though. I understand what you're saying, okay, but there's this. Okay, so one of the sites that I saw here is top 25 destinations in the world 2023. Okay, so there's this place. I think it's number 4 on the list. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hanoi, Vietnam.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's a beautiful place on its own, but they don't exactly have the best transportation modes in there as well as accommodations. I'm sorry, I think the Philippines is a little bit more, um, I guess, modernized in compared to maybe that place or even India.
Yeah,
There's more accommodations in the
but bro,
Philippines. They're able to provide more relaxing accommodations.
there's pho.
Okay,
But
well,
look, just look exactly at what you're putting it up against. Like, is there anywhere here in the Philippines that you're going up against what? Paris, number one; Bora Bora,
well,
number two; Glacier National Park, number three; Rome,
right.
number four. It's like,
I understand. I understand. But that's not my point in that one. I mean, for a travel destination was for vacation. You can go to Siargao, Palawan, Cebu, you know? I mean,
yeah,
it's see, I think you're on the flip side on how you're looking at it is because of the fact that you're there. You're from there.
mm,
That it makes it a little bit more skewed, right?
maybe. I don't know. I don't really mind. I mean, I don't really take it personal. I'm happy that it's not on the list. You guys can go other places. I mean, Rio de Janeiro,
Am
Grand
I
Canyon
kind of
National Park,
screwing it up here where maybe people will actually take a look at these things?
Tulum, Bali. Like maybe they were probably thinking, what? Vietnam, Bali, Philippines. What do you
Right.
guys think?
Right.
Eh,
Bali.
I mean, you're definitely right though. A lot of these, like this article that we're looking at is from the Travel US News, right? So a lot of these places, like you said, Tokyo, Phuket,
oh,
Costa Rica,
I
South
know,
Island, New Zealand, they're
I
all
know,
expensive.
I know. Nah,
Ah,
it's either the terrorism or the potential for war. China being, up north, having this thing going on with us right now. Like what? Sup, huh?
right.
We're like being bullied in the territorial waters of the Philippines. But these places,
Mm, mm.
Bali, Vietnam, do they have like anything violent going on there right now?
Okay, like for instance, Tahiti. It's in the French Polynesia, right? I'm sorry. It's a beautiful place, but I'd much rather go to Palawan.
Yeah, but still, your family can get hostaged and taken for
That could
ransom.
be anywhere, though. Number
Maybe
30 on the list. Number 30 on the list is what?
Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that place is Brazil is like one of the most violent countries in the world.
Okay.
It's riddled. When they had the Olympics in Brazil, tourists were getting robbed in broad daylight.
Well, come
Do
up
you
with
see
your
my
own
point?
list. This is Best Vacations US News World Report
Right.
rankings. Come up with your own list.
Yeah. I'm just saying it pisses me off that the Philippines is not exactly represented here, and it sucks because people are missing out. I'm missing out. There's so many beautiful places to visit in the Philippines. There's so much history, and then the best part with Philippine history, yes, it's Philippine history, but it involves world history because of the fact that Spain has been there, Japan has been there, the US has been there. There's so much to learn. Filipinos are so underrated, not only as a country, but what they represent or they do for the world. Did you know that in World War II, when the Germans were eliminating the Jews, one of the first countries that opened their doors to the Jewish people is the Philippines. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. They gave sanctuary to a lot of Jewish people for them to stay there until this as safety, basically.
Wow.
That's facts. That's in the history. That's what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Look, when you're not doing anything, can't find anything to watch, like when you're done watching your terrace house and you need a little fresh air, yeah, give us like a top 10 destinations in the Philippines that you might suggest that people should go to. Why don't we do that? Come up with our own FlipSide list.
We'll do that. We'll do that. It's funny that you say that. One of the pages that I have here open is top 13 reasons to visit the Philippines. And I'm going to share this to you right now. I just saw it. Like, for example, the number one reason here is the summer weather all year round, which is great, which is true. Right?
Okay.
But the best part besides that, number 2 is the friendly and warm Filipino feelings.
Top 10 reasons not to visit the Philippines. Number 1, year-round summer weather. Number 2, people are friendly.
They're too friendly. And number 3 reason here, budget-friendly destination. Yes, Manila, no.
So you think budget-friendly. Have you heard of the term mapapamura ka? Mapapamahal ka sa mura?
No.
Yeah, so you think get that. Huh? Mapapamahal ka sa mura. Basta mapapamura ka sa mahal. No. What I mean is like they're tricking you into thinking that you're getting.
Ano yun? Utang ina. I love you.
No, they're tricking you into thinking that you like, dude, I had the car fixed one time, right?
Right.
Like, I don't remember what the guy was selling me, but he was saying, oh, 18 pesos lang, sir. Ganyan. 18 pesos lang, like that. So, okay, sige, go ahead. Some bushing thing for the shock absorbers of the car, whatever it was that he was looking under my. Have you heard of Banawe?
The rice terraces?
No. There's this road in Quezon City called Banawe, and they're known for like fixing cars or where you can get like aftermarket or basta car accessories, whatever. Anyway, so the guy looks under my car. The shock absorbers offering me something, whatever. It's like 18 pesos, 20 pesos, whatever. So I was thinking 18, 20 pesos. I'll just, okay, whatever. The guy is looking for a quick buck. Fine, sige, go ahead. I turn around. I talked to a guy. I turned back around again. Look at the guy. It's like, how much? Like 600 pesos.
Huh?
Akala ko 18 pesos lang. Yeah, but there were 20 different bushings that he needed to change.
Well, Jesus.
Mapa, like, sabi ko, hindi yun ang usapan natin. Sabi mo, 18 pesos lang yung bushing. Yeah, pero there's like 18, 20 bushings or something that he's talking about underneath the, you know what I'm talking about? Some rubber thing under the car. It's like, no, take those out. That's not what we talked about. Like, I was thinking of just one piece. So they'll sell you one thing, but not really talking about the whole thing. What?
Waka daw kasi Koreano.
So the suggestion there, when you go to Banawe, after that experience, right? So I'm talking to all these mechanics. They're saying next time you go to Banawe, don't bring your car. You park it in some mall somewhere where it's safe, and then you walk there. Because usually 9 times out of 10, you go to the place, you turn around, your car's not there anymore. Na chop na siya. Your
Oh, Jesus.
your car's bits and pieces already by the time you get back.
Right.
But yeah, so my camera just died, so we went over time. But yeah, that's the thing,
Yeah.
you know. So, you know, they say it's a cheap place, but you got to be careful also. That's what I'm saying.
On the next episode, I'm gonna come up with my top 10 reasons why it's good to visit the Philippines. Okay.
Right, and then right beside that, I'll tell you the reasons why not to.
Okay. That's your homework.
Because that's it. Kala mo mura, pero hindi.
Right. Anyway, I think we are done for the day. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the nonsense that we talked about. Next episode, the biggest discussion is top 10 reasons why you visit the Philippines and top 10 reasons why not to visit the Philippines. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Next episode, by the way, it's going to be a little bit of a different schedule because since we're switching it, instead of being it Sunday morning in the Philippines and then Sunday night, in the US and then Sunday morning in the Philippines, it's going to be Sunday night in the US and then Monday morning in the Philippines. Did I explain that right?
Yeah, so both mornings.
Correct. What do you mean both morning?
Both mornings for the Philippines and then both evenings for the Philippines.
Correct.
for the US side versus switching it around.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much. Again, this is episode 76 down the till. This is the Flip Side with Jay and Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
High five.
You can catch the full episodes on youtube.com at The Flip Side with Jay and Noel. Full episodes uploaded every Wednesdays and Saturdays.